Hey, what's up, everybody? So, I haven't been uploading for a couple of weeks here, mostly because life's a little bit crazy and having to work a little extra. That said, I hope to get back to a regular weekly video. Hopefully, right? Anyway, today I just figured I'll address some of the questions y'all have been asking in the comments. Got my phone here, so I can reference back to it. Number one, let's talk about the latest video, the Stadia controller. Somebody asked me if my Rumble works on the Shield TV with this controller. No, it does not. Now, I can't tell you that this is an issue with the Shield controller or with the Stadia controller or the Shield TV. Or I'm not sure if Steam Remote Play, whatever they call it, if that actually passes the vibration data over to the controller that you're using. If anybody's actually interested in this, I'll try to make it short, explaining it. I don't really... Yeah, this thing lives in the living room, and the lack of haptics isn't really a deal breaker for me. I know it might be for some, so be warned. On to this. Now, I know one of my more controversial videos, if you want to call it that, was me making a scene out of the fact that this wouldn't play Grand Theft Auto 4. Well, guess what? Turns out it will play Grand Theft Auto 4 at 60 frames a second perfectly fine. So what was my issue? It was the SD card. And at the time I was using the Silicon Power SD card. It worked perfectly fine for other games. For whatever reason, Grand Theft Auto 4 and Just Cause, it wouldn't bother launching, or it would launch in a really weird way, like you saw in the video, where you get no FPS whatsoever. Since then, I've switched over to a SanDisk card. That worked perfectly fine, and I mean, perfectly fine. So then I went and reformatted the Silicon Power card. Now the card works perfectly fine. That's exactly what I have the game running off of currently. The original card. I guess there was something weird with formatting on it. But I'm still really upset that I had to do that, because if you're like me, you're on an internet connection with a bandwidth cap, and guess what? Downloading 500 gigs worth of games onto one device kind of cuts through that data limit pretty quick if you have to do it twice in a month, right? And if you just got this, it's a brand new shiny toy. Hello. Now, I know not everybody's got data caps, but we're gonna go off of, you bought the $400, $399 Steam Deck. Chances are you're probably not paying for a full gig down internet with no data caps. Chances are you're similar to me, you're on an Xfinity thing where you're trying to save a buck, you're using your own modem, and Xfinity famously won't give you unlimited unless you use one of their modems, or you upgrade to a tier that's way too expensive for what you get, and so on and so forth. So, like, my statement still stands. That is super, super annoying that I had to go through all of that, burn through a lot of bandwidth just to get it working. But it does work, so I do apologize to the hordes of you that are absolutely pissed off that how dare this noob not figure out how to make it work. It works. Fantastic. SSDs. So, fun little fact. The original 64 gig SSD in this isn't actually an SSD. I'm surprised people don't mention this more often. This is an eMMC. Yeah, you know those budget laptops that you get with like 32 gigs, 64 gigs of storage on them? They're using this. Overall, it's not super slow storage, but it is slower than a proper SSD. So like, you know, there is a reason for upgrading from what's in the original Steam Deck. Any SSD you get is going to be NVMe. You're going to pick up a little speed, even though the 2230 SSDs don't come with the cache, as far as I'm aware. As far as opening this thing up and putting it into battery storage mode, that is my recommendation. Put it in battery storage mode, it'll kind of keep it from powering on. That is not the same as unplugging the battery when you have the device open. In my video, I didn't unplug the battery because I didn't want to finagle with the little connector for the battery. And I know I can trust myself not to drop a Ferris screwdriver anywhere where it will short across contacts. Here's a SanDisk drive. Alright, so you can get one of these. It'll do Type C. It'll also do Type A. I really like these drives. I keep one on my on my keys, just as a thing to dump stuff off of my phone onto, if need be. So, yeah, like you can get one of these. You can use the official Steam Deck dock to plug into here, plug the flash drive into the dock. You should be able to load the OS up from there. Matter of fact, that's probably preferred because you can also have power run into the Steam Deck to keep it charged. When you make the flash drive, you're gonna have multiple partitions. Don't worry, that's normal. Yeah. Make sure you go through and reformat this thing after you're done, because, you know, multiple partitions and bootable drive, and not the most fun to deal with if you're gonna try and use it as a flash drive again. Yeah. And I think that's about everything that I wanted to touch on in terms of questions from people. I know there's a lot of folks that are saying that, hey, look, this thing, you don't have to open it up. You can just use the SD card and that's it. Well, SD cards currently top out at 1 terabyte. And 2230 drives, I think, top out at 2 terabytes. So if you were wanting to have like your whole absolute complete Steam library, and your library isn't too big, you'd probably need all 3 terabytes there. That's not everybody. Some of us have, let's say, 5-10 games. Some of us have a crap ton of games. And you gotta remember, some of these games do not work on the Steam Deck, period. I think Assetto Corsa doesn't work, period. That's fine, it's kind of an old game at this point. But in it not working, you obviously wouldn't want to keep it on the device. So, yeah. Just wanted to hop on here, make a quick sort of video. Subscribe.